In our 7th year of marriage, my wife and I almost divorced in a parking lot. It all came down to one sentence. She had maxed out her credit cards and I hadn't told her that we actually still had money. That night she slammed the bill down on the dining table, her voice shaking. "Do you even care about this family anymore?" I didn't argue, I just stared at the numbers. What she didn't know was that behind that bill, the one that looked like it was about to crush us, I had quietly left us a way out. Not from a stock market win, not from a side hustle blowing up, but from a set of habits she'd always hated and even mocked as outdated and pointless. She hated that I kept using the same phone for 10 years, said I looked like a man stuck in the last century. She couldn't understand why I'd rather fix a broken umbrella than buy a new one on a rainy day. And she really couldn't stand that every weekend I tracked expenses, compared prices, and put spare change into a savings account no one uses anymore. To her it was cheap. It was a poor man's mindset. It was the ultimate buzzkill in a marriage. When the argument hit its ugliest point, she said something I'll never forget. "A man like you will never make real money." I didn't snap back. I just turned around, opened my laptop, and slid an account balance across the table. She went quiet, so quiet that I thought our marriage was truly over. After a long moment, she looked up at me and asked softly, "This money, when did you save it?" I told her the truth. During all those fights. During all those moments when we almost gave up and thought, forget it. That was the first time we ever really talked about money, about the future. About why what truly saves you isn't how fast you make money, but whether you can last long enough to keep it. Saving money has become increasingly complicated. Actually, it hasn't. What's truly complicated is spending money. It seems that at some point, people started to feel that managing money required various apps, subscription services, colorful charts, and constant optimization. Meanwhile, your bank account is slowly dwindling amidst a bunch of almost imperceptible little habits. You start the dryer for just a few clothes. You buy a tool you only use once. The faucet drips, but you're too lazy to call for repairs because it's too much trouble. You replace cheap furniture as soon as it breaks, and then replace it again when it breaks again. At the moment, these things seem insignificant. Until the credit card bill arrives, a sudden sense of unease arises. The truth most people are unwilling to face is, you're almost never bankrupt by a single major accident. The money you lose comes from countless seemingly harmless small expenditures. Because each one is small, they seem safe, reasonable, and even unworthy of attention. And the cruelty of this truth lies in its tedium. There's no drama, no warning, only repetition. If you always buy new things without first considering second-hand options, you're not actually paying for necessities, but rather the premium inherent in the retail system. Looking down another level, there's money you could have recouped but never fought for. Prices are often flexible, but you never ask. And with food, waste is blatant yet overlooked. Excess vegetables from your garden go unshared, free fruit from the tree goes unpicked. Leftovers in the fridge are forgotten in a corner. The story diverges here. Some see leftovers, empty cans, a shirt missing a button, a library card. Others see trash, clutter, things not worth the time. So, they open the app and place an order, look closely at the household ledger. The person planning meals before shopping is not just being responsible. They are refusing retail's favorite trick, making every dinner an emergency. That's why lifestyle creep is so dangerous. The raise hits, and suddenly the coffee gets upgraded, the streaming stack gets fatter, the gym auto-renews, the gifts get pricier. The treat yourself line gets used like a permission slip. Meanwhile, the person borrowing entertainment from the library, learning sewing, baking, gardening, woodworking, using rags instead of paper towels, making gifts instead of buying them, they are doing something deeper than saving money. They are moving expenses back under personal control. They are replacing monthly extraction with skill. Start boring on purpose. Tonight, put one empty jar or envelope by your door and label it next trip. That's it. Do the same under your sink. One spray bottle, vinegar, a little baking soda, lemon if you have it. That's the real promise of all of this. Not a luxury car, not a perfect house, not in the flashy way people sell online, in the real way. A few dollars not spent on paper towels because you used old shirts as rags. A few more saved because you clipped the grocery coupon before checkout. Gas money you didn't burn because you combined errands instead of making 3 separate trips. A shirt you didn't replace because you sewed the button back on. A meal you didn't throw out because you froze the leftovers. One subscription canceled. One impulse purchase delayed. One borrowed tool instead of one more thing tossed into the garage after a single use. None of those moments look life-changing while they're happening. They look almost too small to matter. That's exactly why people underestimate them. But your budget doesn't experience money as drama. It experiences money as repetition. Your bank account changes because of what happens over and over in ordinary weeks. Tuesday groceries, Saturday errands, laundry night, holiday shopping, a leaky faucet, a child outgrowing clothes, a streaming charge you forgot existed. That's where financial stress is built, and that's also where financial stability is built. Same battlefield, different habits, and once you understand that, you stop asking the wrong question. You stop asking, will this tiny habit make me wealthy? And start asking, will this tiny habit make me more resilient next month? 6 months from now? Next year? That question is much more powerful, because it leads to a result you can actually trust. The ability to leave a bad deal, to pause, to wait, to not be forced by panic into the worst possible choice. If your budget has no slack, every surprise becomes an emergency. If your habits create even a small buffer, you get time, and time is one of the most valuable financial assets you can have. Time to compare prices, time to fix instead of replace, time to borrow instead of buy, time to use what you already own, time to think before money leaves your hand. That kind of buffer won't show off on social media, but it will protect your real life, it will protect your sleep, it will protect your relationships, it will protect your future choices. It will protect the version of you that is tired, busy, emotional, and one bad week away from making an expensive decision. So if you've been waiting for permission to keep this simple, here it is. Simple is fine, better than fine, simple is durable. You do not need to adopt all 33 habits by tomorrow morning. You do not need a perfect pantry, a spotless budget binder, a backyard garden, and hand-sewn napkins by next weekend. That kind of perfection fantasy is how people quit. What works is smaller, one habit, one visible change. And that is worth far more than a temporary thrill ever was.